guys, what's poppin'? It's me, and I'm back to talk about how much I hate myself. So I've been writing a lot recently, which is weird because I haven't written this much since school, and my summer break is coming to a close. Writing this much after not writing for so long is kind of weird. But because I've been doing so much writing, I've also been going back and looking at a lot of my old stuff, seeing what I can improve on. And there's so many things from my past that I've just repressed and forgotten about because I hate them and I hate myself. And one of those things was a 21 Pilots fanfiction. Now, you may remember, if you saw my previous cringing at my old Wattpad fanfiction video, that I wrote Sherlock X readers. Now, right then, when I started to fade away from all the X reader stuff, and I was like, I'm gonna be a serious writer, I'm gonna write serious fanfiction that doesn't involve me inserting myself into the story, I made the jump from Wattpad to AO3, or Archive of Our Own, because AO3 was where the serious writers were. There was a time when you evolved from Wattpad and you realized how cringy and shitty all the fanfictions on there were, and you went to AO3 where you knew you were gonna get family-friendly, not actually, there's so much smut there, that you were gonna get the good kush, that you were gonna get the cream of the crop fanfiction. It was great, AO3 was amazing, and so I was like, hey, I'm actually serious about writing fanfiction, so I'm gonna make the jump to AO3. I never finished the fanfic. Now I have a problem where so many times I start writing stories and I don't finish them, which is why when I write nowadays, I mainly focus on writing short stories, short pieces that I know I can get done in a couple sittings and it'll still be really good. But for some odd reason, I had the bright idea that I was gonna write a story so emotional, so deep, and it was gonna have so many chapters. I only wrote 4. That's right. This book is barely even getting started, and I just left it to die. Yeah, I kind of feel bad. But recently I went back and I reread my entire fic, and surprisingly, it wasn't that bad. This is gonna sound crazy, but unlike the Sherlock one, first of all, I remember where the story was going, and I could see that it kind of had promise. It was crazy. So I went back and I was rereading it, and yeah, there were a couple parts where I was cringing because the word choice was bad, or I'd switch from like being first person to third person like too fast. But this story had a lot of promise. There were a lot of things going for it, and I remember exactly where I wanted it to go. Now in this 21 Pilots fanfiction, it was a joshler, because I was one of those people. What, do you expect me to make a 21 Pilots video and not wear the new top merch? I'm sorry. Yeah, it's 98 degrees outside, but it's for the video, it's worth it. So in the fanfic, basically the premise was Josh and Tyler grew up together in Ohio, and Josh suddenly came to realizing that he was in love with Tyler. But Tyler moves off to London and Josh is completely heartbroken. They're really young, and so Josh's family moves out to California. The story takes place when Josh is a high schooler now. He goes to regional high school, 'cause you know, regional at best. Am I right? God. Yeah, there are some pretty cringy references in there. But what happens is Josh ends up becoming internet friends with this Tumblr blog. This Tumblr blog makes a bunch of like deep stuff and also does music, and so he ends up falling for this blog and they become internet friends. But at the same time, Tyler's still really traumatized about the fact that he hasn't talked to Tyler in so long. He's still heartbroken misses him all the time, has these like constant nightmares. And it had a lot of promise. Like, when you read it, you can tell where I'm going with it, but no one really knew where I was going with it. It was gonna be this whole thing where the blog that Josh had interest in was Tyler, but Josh doesn't realize that it's Tyler. But then the blog is like, hey, I'm coming to Cali, we should meet up. Josh realizes that it's Tyler. There's this whole thing, there's this whole big blow up, and it's like even from across the world, there's still this like romantic thing, and you always find your way back to the person you were always meant to be with. It was gonna be deep, it was gonna be good, there was gonna be drama, there was gonna be conflict. This story had so much promise. And reading it back, I was like, it's not half bad. But I only ever wrote 4 chapters. First chapter is Josh at high school. He starts talking with this blog for the first time. Second chapter, the blog messages back. Josh is a little fanboy. Third chapter, I think Josh was having a nightmare about Tyler, which gives the reader insight to everything Josh has been through and why it's affected him so much. And then the fourth chapter, Josh wakes up after having this dream, and he's so confused and conflicted, but I don't mean to be, guys, I hate myself, but it ain't that bad. The writing was there, the promise was there, but I just stopped. And I think that's what led me to doing actual writing. I'm like connecting the chain of my past and like everything I've repressed and stuff. It started with Wattpad. It started with Cringe Fest and being in love with emotionless sociopaths and writing ex-readers just so that I could feel something. And then it went from that to realizing it was cringe and wanting to become better. I made the jump to AO3, figured out how to write stories with characters that weren't myself, and then from there I was like, I don't need this anymore. This is wild. This is crazy. I'm sorry, I'm just like, whoa. So it was Sherlock X Readers and not half bad 21 Pilots unfinished fanfiction that led me to becoming a pretty good writer, if I do say so myself. So if you want to read the 21 Pilots fanfiction, it'll be the first link down in the description. But it ain't that bad, and it was seriously just like a trip reading it back. So that's this week's vid. Hope you enjoyed. We just got the Nico and the Niners music video, and I'm still freaking out over that. This new album's gonna be so good. I've got this top hoodie now, and I'm very excited. I understand now. I'm not as confused as I was when I made that first top video. So yeah, that's gonna do it for this week. Hope you enjoyed. Next week, new season of Voltron comes out, so I'll be reviewing that again as I do. After that, you can probably expect another aesthetic back to school haul. So we've got some good stuff coming up on this channel. Tell your friends. Please, please, please get me more subs. I love you all. Bye.